In a recent tournament I had my first tank versus infantry assault, and it didn't end well for my poor infantry. In this video I want to look at the basic mechanics of tank versus infantry assaults and see what I can do to improve my chances in the future. These are my early war fearless trained Australians from Hellfire and back. The standard infantry tank assault rating is 2, but as you can see I equipped them with sticky bombs, giving them an improvised tank assault rating of 3. Improvised tank assault is covered in the special rules section of the 4th edition rulebook on page 65. The improvement in the tank assault rating reflects a special weapon with anti-tank properties. In the case of my Australians, this is the British hand grenade number 74, also known as the sticky bomb. This is a specialist anti-tank grenade made of glass filled with a nitroglycerin mixture and with a sticky coating designed to stick to the tank before it explodes. Developed as an emergency weapon after the loss of most of the Army's anti-tank guns following the evacuation of Dunkirk, the sticky bomb used a squash head principle. Throwing the grenade broke the glass container on impact, spreading the nitroglycerin semi-liquid explosive filler over the surface of the armour. There were numerous problems with the grenade, which was fragile and didn't stick well to even slightly muddy vehicles. Australian troops are credited with developing the tactic of walking up to a tank and slapping the bombs on the top surfaces rather than throwing them. Not a tactic for the faint-hearted. So let's look at the rules for conducting a tank assault attack, which are on page 57 of the rulebook. In an assault, if the infantry unit scores a hit on an armoured team, their tank assault rating is used against the tank's top armour. This is resolved as a normal anti-tank hit with an armour save. Given tanks generally have a top armour of 0, 1 or 2, you can see this type of attack is pretty marginal. The armour save roll needs to be pretty low to give the infantry a chance of bailing or destroying the tank. So a weapon like the sticky bomb that improves the standard infantry assault rating of 2 up to an improvised tank assault rating of 3 gives a better chance of success. Unfortunately, the improvised part of this is also a drawback, with this crude and clumsy class of weapon being dangerous to those who use them as well as those they're being employed against. Sticky bombs, for example, were notorious for sticking to weapons, equipment and uniforms of the infantry employing them, with disastrous results. Molotov cocktails and other improvised weapons had similar dangers. To represent this in the game, a roll of 1 to hit when using these weapons in a tank assault destroys the team using it. That's right, the infantry team can be destroyed by their own weapon. It's brutal. I lost 2 teams this way in my tournament fight. It weakened the defenders enough that they were pushed off the objective. Teams with improvised tank assault may elect not to use it, and just use the standard tank assault rating of 2. This must be declared before rolling to hit. Note that this rule is for improvised tank assault. Some units and weapons give an increased tank assault rating without the improvised keyword, and they don't suffer the same chance of disaster. So let's do a run through. Here my Australians are being assaulted by Panzer IIs. Panzer IIs are front armour 2, side and top armour of 1. In this scenario, the Panzers have moved into contact, survived defensive fire and resolved their first assault round against my infantry, who have now passed their counter-attack roll and are ready to attack. I have 4 stands here, 2 rifle MG teams, a command rifle MG team and a boys anti-tank rifle team. The AT rifle team has a tank assault rating of 3 anyway, without sticky bombs, so I'll use the red dice for them. The others are all using sticky bombs, so have the risk of destruction on a roll of a 1. To hit in an assault is a skill test. My teams are fearless trained, so they need a 4+ to hit, a 50-50 proposition. Page 57 of the Early War, Late War version 4 rules says that smaller 2-man teams add a +1 to the score to hit in assaults, so my AT rifle team needs a 5 or better. This rule doesn't apply to unit leaders or formation commanders. I rolled a 1, 3 and a 5 for the infantry teams and a 4 for the anti-tank rifle team. Unfortunately, that means one of my teams is eliminated, blown up by their own sticky bombs. The 3 is a miss, as is the 4 for the anti-tank rifle team. That leaves 1 hit. My tank assault of 3 for this hit goes against the Panzer II's top armour of 1. I need my opponent to roll an armour save of 1 to destroy them, and a 2 to equal my rating to bail them out. Anything above that and the armour deflects the hit and it won't affect them. A lucky 1 here is enough to do the job. So I destroyed 1 tank but lost a rifle MG team to their own sticky bombs. The remaining Panzer II rolls a 3 to counterattack. They're confident, so they needed a 4 or better to continue the attack. It breaks off. If the other panzer was bailed out instead of destroyed, it would not be able to fall back and would have been captured and destroyed. So let's do a quick recap. In assaults, infantry and gun teams can use their tank assault rating to attack armoured tank teams. Teams with anti-tank weapons can elect to use these instead against the tank's side armour as long as the tank's in the weapon's normal field of fire. The standard tank assault rating is 2. Some units, like Pioneers or Specialist anti-tank teams, may have different tank assault ratings in their arsenal entry, or a list might allow equipment to be purchased like Molotov cocktails or sticky bombs to improve a unit's tank assault rating. Some of these weapons are listed as improvised, which entails a risk to the team employing them. On a roll of 1 to hit, the assaulting team is destroyed by their own weapon. This rule only applies to improvised tank assault weapons. Any other tank assault attacks don't carry this potential penalty. Lists will clearly indicate improvised weapons in their arsenal entries. Tank assault attacks are resolved with an armour save against the top armour rating of the target armoured tank team. The tank team assault rating is compared against the armour save result. A penetration result destroys the target, an equal results in a bail, and an attack that fails to penetrate has no effect. So that's the nuts and bolts of tank infantry assaults in version 4 Flames of War. Hopefully next time I'll have a better idea of what I'm doing. Hope you found it useful as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like Fog of War content.